Alright guys, we're going to do a follow-up review on the Lion Steel monoframe titanium folder. Introduced it when I picked this guy up at SHOT Show. I've been actually carrying it now for 2 weeks straight. I really like the knife. I'm going to give you a breakdown what I like about it and what I don't like about it. First of all, the knife is a tank. This is a really nice, big, beefy knife. The lock has broken really beautifully. It's nice and easy to open and close. The lock face doesn't seem to have lost any footing or really gained any footing, which is nice. So it still has a nice about 70% engagement between the lock face and the blade. The blade is still tight. There's no jiggle or wobble in there. The handles have actually held up quite well. I was kind of worried about this grayish purple anodizing, but this knife lives in my pocket with my keys, and it doesn't really have seemed to pick up any major damage. A lot of times, since it's carried tip up back in here, it'll pick up scratches and stuff like that from whatever's rolling around in your pocket. The blade, this has cut a whole bunch of boxes. It has cut a bunch of different things. It's still sharp. It's not razor sharp. It'll still grab on the fingernail. So it's at an edge. I have not chipped or nicked the blade at all. As far as the actual profile of the edge, I don't think I've ever had an out-of-the-box knife that I was in love with the profile of the edge. I'm a little bit of a fanatic when it comes to sharpening. This edge is a little bit of an apple seed or a convex grind, so it was probably cut on a slack belt in a factory. It was very sharp from the factory, and it's still plenty sharp to use. I prefer a flat grind. I have an Edge Pro Professional and a Wicked Edge that we use to sharpen the stuff. I have not sharpened the knife. I wanted to run it with the factory edge, see how I liked it. The factory edge worked good, but I'll end up improving on that. The actual finish of the steel has held up quite well for the amount of boxes that I've cut on there. I don't know if you can see any of the scratches on there, but anything on there is very, very minimal. I got one that you can kind of see at a diagonal right there. It's about the only real scratch I have on the knife. A couple scratches on this pocket clip. Suggestions for the 2.0 version of this knife, what I'd like to see. I think this is a really high quality knife, and if they could somehow possibly get a ball bearing system in this, I think it would really step the game up on the knife. I think it's already at a price point enough. A little bit extra for a ball bearing would be justified. The other thing, my only real gripe about this knife is for the size and weight of the knife. I think the pocket clip is a little bit undersized. The clip, as far as the thickness of the steel and the tightness of the spring, I think it's tight enough, but I don't think that the friction bend or this little knuckle right here sits deep enough on the knife. I think if it was to be extended about another ½ inch down, it would grab the pocket a little better, and they could almost even use this little recess right here, if you kind of lined it up with that knuckle, to give it a little bit more of a grab point, so it held a little more securely in the pocket. So I might actually get a hold of my buddy Mike Snowdy, see if he can make me a little beefier, a little longer pocket clip for this guy. Other than that, I don't think I'd really change anything about this knife, with maybe the exception of, like I said, a ball bearing in the grip. The ergonomics on the knife are wonderful. The grind of the knife is, I think, very, very attractive. The shape, everything about this thing I'm really liking. Pocket clip, I think, has a little room for improvement. All in all, I would say I give this knife a solid 9 out of 10. It's going to get in my everyday carry lineup. There's several knives I carry. I rotate them out kind of depending on my mood. I think this will definitely get put in the rotation, guys. This is the Lion Steel, made in Italy, Schleipner tool steel, titanium monoframe. If you're not familiar with this, it does have the lockout. You lock it out, the knife pretty much becomes a fixed blade. You can no longer move the bar to the side. It's real easy to unlock. You just slide it back over. Very happy with the knife.